I'm holding on to the pier. I was holding on for dear life, dude. Where did it go? Dude, it about blowed me away. I had to hold on to the pier. Golly, we got a water. Where'd that water? Man, that was a trip, dude. And we got a bunch of back interference. These things don't play together. What? Man, I've lost my glasses. It blew my glasses off. I can't see nothing. It's marked. Is it marked? Yep. Uh-oh. Might be silver, but it's marked. Uh-oh, it's marked. All right, let's get a close up of that for him. There it is. Open hooper. What did it ring up? You know? 33. 33. Let's go dig something. Yeah. Should be gold. Gold or a pull tab? Gold or a pull tab. No, gold. Deep too. There it is. It is gold. What? It's a ring, but I don't think it's gold. Well, it might be gold. Uh-oh. I don't know. Uh-oh. Got it on thin ring, but it's a ring. Got it on the live dig. That actually kind of looks like it. Looks like rose. Nothing like getting a gold ring on a live dig. Good morning, all. Let me get situated here. Of course, my streaming software had an edit, and it's malfunctioning this morning, and my earbuds won't work with it. You know, just a good start to a great day. But yeah, sorry about last night. Went diving yesterday. Did not have the energy to do a live stream, but we're going to attempt to do a real quick one this morning. I've got some news about the Nokta Legend and the Nokta Triple Score, and we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to give some shout outs. And I see that Iffy is in here, and I hope that he will come on next week when I get back from my dive trip and, you know, be a guest on here, and let's talk about his experience with the Legend and the Triple Score beta updates that he's been testing, which I'm the other guy who is testing the beta updates. As was said in a live last night, that there was 2 people testing. Well, I'm the other guy that has been testing the Nokta product. So if he's got some videos up, go over to his channel. I'm sure all you guys that follow me, you know, are familiar with Iffy. Good friend of mine, and he's a great tester, and he knows his electronics, and he's a multiple brand tester. So I think that gives us a good foundation to build on, because we use different brands and we're familiar with different brands' performances, and we can rate, you know, them compared to one another. And that's a pretty big deal. What's going on, Blasted Cat? Let me give some shout outs this morning, and then we'll jump right into it. Not going to be a long live stream. I've actually got to work this morning, so I've only got about 30 minutes. So AC, what's up? What's up, Beach Club? Glad you liked the Siri's going off on my phone. Glad you liked the boot camp video. I've been thinking about that, and actually I was thinking about that boot camp video for the Deus 2, and some of those aspects, or
yeah, a couple of them apply to the other brand detectors too, and I'm going to be doing boot camp videos on the other detectors about the best way to, or the most efficient way to learn them. And just say this real quick before I finish the shout outs. There's going to be an agony of learning a metal detector no matter how you do it, but there's some more simplistic or more efficient ways to do it. I know that not everybody has 100 hours a month to put into metal detecting, and you know, I've thought about this over the years in my experience with these detectors and what is the best way. Well, we'll be looking at some of the other detectors too with the boot camp videos. What's up, Ben? Good morning. What's up, CZ Kid? Ify, what's going on, man? How is that 116? Well, I hope next week you'll come on and we can talk about it more. I just wanted to lay a couple of things out there for them today about what we're looking, or what I'm looking at, and you can tell them maybe next week what you're looking at, like we were talking about. Blasted Cat, let's see here, Johnny Rum, and yeah, y'all hit the like button. Hey, I appreciate it, CZ Kid. I've been thinking about, you know, learning these metal detectors because all of them have so many features, and we'll just start with that real quick before we talk about the Legend update. And I have some breaking news on that Legend update about something that's on it, and this should get Legend users and potential Legend purchasers really excited about this unit, something that Nokta has done with it. But yeah, I've been thinking about that, how to learn these metal detectors and the most efficient way to do it. And you know, the XP video was just a start, but I was thinking about how that applies to the other units, and down the line I'll come up with a Manicore video, a good place to start, a triple score, a Legend video, and I'll show my philosophy on why I think that's the easiest way to learn them, and et cetera, et cetera. And we'll be doing that here in the near future. But I would like to be able to go to the beach today, but I've got to work. I would like to be able to go to the beach tomorrow with the Legend and the triple score, but I've got to work. And then Monday, I'm going on about either 3 or 4 day dive trip to a new site that I really think is going to be really good, and it's getting cool here, so we're trying to get the diving in before it gets cold. So that kind of puts me later in the week being able to go to the beach and test Legend and actually produce videos on it. But it doesn't stop me from telling you what I have on the beta update on the Legend, and we'll get to that in just a minute. What's going on, Donald? Oh man, it's early this morning, and I'm trying to get woke up. Oh, I already got a thumbs down. You got to admit, you got to love the haters. Anybody, you know, attention's attention, and bad publicity, I guess, is still good publicity. You know? Oh man, let me drink this coffee right here. Diggs Lot, I'm going to do some videos on these detectors in the coming weeks that really break this down and make this a more simplified process of learning these units. And I will, like I said, I'll share why I believe that setting these units up in a certain way will be the most efficient, and you know, make best use of your time when trying to learn them. But let's get back to what we're here for. You guys clicked on this live stream to find out what's going on. Well, as you know, I've been testing the triple score. You've seen the intro video when we were out in the water spout / tornado, and I had to grab a hold of the pier. If I'd have hit the camera button about 20 seconds before I did, which I was terrified, you would have even had better view of what that was actually doing. I'm holding on. My arms were all scratched up, and I was like, dude, if this gets much worse, the whole pier may go, and this ain't going to be good. I'll be flying through the air holding a triple score. But my buddy was actually out on the beach, and he was literally blew down the beach, and he's a big guy like me. But we were testing the triple score. So when the triple score come out, we all know that I showed a video, and it had some problems on the beach. It was calling targets iron, and Delic over at Nokta reached out and wanted me to test a beta version on the triple score for the beach, particularly for the beach. And at that point, I said, oh, absolutely, I'll take it to the beach, because as you guys know, I only live a few miles from the beach on the east coast of the United States. So I took the triple score, we run through a couple of different versions on the beach, and they finally settled on one, and the performance of that detector is very, very good. The triple score was performing very good, and in my opinion, the triple score was outperforming the Legend on the beach at that time. Well, fast forward a few weeks, we've looked at a couple of things on the triple score, and I'm actually looking at something else on the triple score that I'm trying to get them to do, but I don't think they're going to do it. But I can't talk about that publicly yet, but I would like for them to do it. But if they don't, it's still okay. That thing is a bad to the bone unit for $479. I'll get to the comments in just a second. So as I was saying, if he showed a video, and I guess you guys that have been following this know the story, if he showed a video and he had some small gold in his test garden, and he showed the other detectors that were really lighting the small gold up, and the Legend was really failing on that small gold test. So Nokta jumped on the train and got an update for the Legend and fixed the small gold problem that it had. So now it hits the small gold. So I would say that if he was asked to look at that specific thing, and I was asked to look, at it too. So I took it, I ran it through my standard test and looked at the iron to make sure that it was still handling the iron and not falsing and all that stuff. Because when you make adjustments in these machines, it can cause problems in other places. So that is one thing that Nokta's doing. As we're looking at these specific places, they do release this as a beta version to the public, which is really good, because only having a couple of people look at a detector, yeah, we could miss something, And me if he was talking about this, there is a lot of configurations in these detectors, and especially when you're trying to get something done and get it done fast and get it out to the public, a glitch could get by. But the way that Nokta's doing it, if that happens, they give a time frame, and then the public is out there too. But I am, and I suppose that if you is just looking at specific parts of the metal detectors, because, as testing for XP, when I did that with their beta version, man, that is actually a lot, because every time something's changed, you have to go through the whole metal detector over and over and over again, and hundreds of configurations to see, if there's a problem. But getting past that, if something was to get by, then, we see how Nokta's doing, it would be fixed very quickly. But, hey, I appreciate it, Beach Club. Yes, they are tough, and I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, I've been rambling on, man, for 12 minutes. What is going on with the Legend? Well, the Legend is getting a new beach enhancement performance update, too. So included in the update coming for the Legend will be a beach performance enhancement update. Interesting. So we have the triple score, and I'll go ahead and say it, performing on the beach, or outperforming the elite on the beach on gold ring size target. You guys have seen the video. I hope to get them to do a couple of things to that to make that even better, in my opinion, but I don't know. We'll have to see. The Legend is getting a beach enhancement performance. So right off the cuff, I've not tested it on the beach yet, but I have the beta version. I just don't have the time until the middle of next week to get down there. But I would suppose that it's as good as or better than the triple score on the beach. And even if it's as good as the triple score and both of them are identical, they're jam up. So you're talking about stability in excellent depth. I showed it hitting like a 13 or 14 inch 14 karat gold ring. Well, that's getting very close to where the big boys are, the Deus 2 and the Manicore. And the wild thing about the triple score is how stable it was running and doing that. It boggles my mind, because just as far as the beach, I'm not going to say, just as far as the beach goes, that detector is performing in a category with the big boys. In that category, beach performance. And I find that amazing that we got a $479 detector. I'm not saying that it'll beat those detectors on small gold. I don't know that. I've not tested it. I'm not saying that the most extreme depth that it will match those detectors, the Manicore and the Deus 2. But I am saying for $479, I can confidently tell you that with a triple score, you have the possibility on an East Coast beach of digging a 13-inch gold ring. And that's pretty doggone amazing. So that's about all I know to say about that. But let's go back over here to the comments real quick. And I know that this live was I just basically wanted to announce that there will be a beach update on the Legend. There's a couple of other things that behind the scenes we're looking at with a triple score. And if he has looked at the small gold thing, and from his videos, he's tested it on the iron and different stuff like that. And I don't know if he has an iron block video up yet. His block videos up, which I like because they're the same every time. I don't know if they're up yet, but very good time for Nokta, man. They're really doing something. Let's see here. You're welcome, Diggs a lot. What's up, Dave in Japan? Digging on history. The XP video was great. Have a day of 2 release and also have a trip on Manicore. So looking forward to those. Yeah, I'm going to put that same principle to those detectors too to help people. You know, I kind of forget. I'm in the world. I've been in this for a long time now, and I forget about when I started out sometimes of how overwhelming this can be sometimes. It's very overwhelming. You buy a detector, you grab up a manual. Here's a Legend manual. I've got detector manuals all over the house. You grab up a manual and you start looking at it, man, and you're new to detecting, or you used a different brand, say a Garrett, that didn't have all this stuff, and you're like, holy crap, what does it do? And then if you change something, you're running on this, oh my gosh, I'm not finding nothing. Have I got something messed up? And you get into that fiddle-faddle mode of wanting to change something because you think that that's keeping you from finding something, when most of the time in reality it's just that there's nothing there to find unless you've jacked something way out of kilter. But I want to get people by that on the Legend and the Manicore, the Equinox, the Elite, and I want to show a basic way that over the years that I figured out to set these machines up. And yes, after you learn them or you get more familiar with them, you can tweak it and maybe get more out of it for your area and your sites. But I want to get that out, and then and that will build confidence when you guys buy these units and you're new to them. You won't be walking around. I was looking at Treasure Outdoors live stream the other day, and he made a statement to me on that live stream. I went over and was looking at it. The kid does really good. He goes out and he breaks out these long lives of him just digging on the beach. And he said, hey, Calabash, he said, I like this Elite. I don't find myself using the Deus 2 as much because I feel like I'm changing, mashing buttons all the time and changing stuff. And I thought about what he said, and I'm like, well, how do we get by that? Because it is true. The Deus 2 beach programs out of the box suck. And I said this in a video the other day. But the Deus 2 is either the top or one of the top performing detectors on the saltwater beach. But you have to know how to set it up. Well, I will simplify that process for you guys and show you a good general United States beach setting. You can try it around the world, but once I break those principles down, you'll be able to flip this or that, which either up or down, to get it to work on the beach. But problem is people walking around not finding nothing, thinking that they don't have the right setting. They do have the right setting. I want to show good general principle place to start on all these metal detectors where you can have confidence that your metal detector is set up in a way that you'll find stuff, and also it'll be set up in a way where you're using it in the same parameter type deal, and you're learning the nuances of the metal detector instead of flipping back and forth or mashing buttons all day, and that is what we don't want. But anyway, I've went from Nokta to teaching on metal detectors. No telling where my lives are going to go, but that will be the goal of the videos in the coming weeks. I appreciate it, guys, about that video, about how tough these Nokta machines are on other brands that can't compare to them. Yeah, they're tough. They're built like tanks. I agree with that. They are built very, very good. I hope that their newer model that they come out with is a lighter design. These are light. I'm not saying I can swing the triple score and it doesn't hurt my wrist like the Equinox 800 did. The angle is right on the head, but I hope that we'll get down into the lower 2-pound range on their next unit. So we'll see what happens with that. Thank you for the support, Beach Club. I appreciate it. I don't know, Dave. I have not tested the double score yet on the beach. I tested it pre-updates and all that, and then the score and the double score that I had, I donated to a good home. So I don't have a double score in-house to test, but the cutoff on the double score max on a good day was around 10 inches on an East Coast beach. And it ran stable, so they had to get stable, but maybe the triple score being a higher price it does. If the double has not changed, then the triple score has got about a 3-inch depth advantage over the double score if they don't update the double score beach program. The triples are really, really rocking on the beach, and it's doing good on relics. Dang it, Delta Fresh Relics is killing it with its triple score in that small coil and iron infested sites. Carolina Diggers found some relics with it. I've took it down and dove with it and found a couple of items underwater with it, relics. And I took it down to 25 feet, if you guys will remember. Really, really nice, nice unit, man. You know, not saying that there's not other nice units out there. The Elite's a nice unit, and you know, whichever way that a person chooses to go, either Minelab or Nokta, they're getting a good performing machine. And Minelab's tones are different. Some people like them better. Some people like Nokta tones better. But I can confidently say that the triple score excites me more than I'm looking forward. Their flagship being the Legend right now, but I'm looking more to the new flagship that'll be coming down the road. Don't know the exact time frame on that, but the triple score really excites me at that price point a whole lot. And I know that guys will be excited by the new Legend update too, and I would be too if I was swinging a Legend. That was my primary machine because they are improving it. I know that there were some things about the beast mode, and I'm not impressed with the beast mode on the Legend or the triple score. I'm kind of like, what is this for? And I hope to work with them on the beast mode on the triple score and see if that can be improved. Pinpoint function on triple score, I want to see that even get better too. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see here. What's going on, Adele? I appreciate that. Is also doing good. Same performance like the triple. I think that the triple, if the score beach program has not been updated, which it has not that I know of, the triple has an advantage. And the triple, it's because you can adjust the triple more on the relics. And that gives it an advantage, as far as on the iron and the tones and all of that. I feel like it has an advantage. Not saying that the double score will not unmask good, because it will. You guys have seen that. But you're limited to what you can do with the machine. And the triple just adds a little more features. And it does have an advantage at the end of the day, just because, in my opinion, of those features on unmasking, like the pitch tones and being able to change the tones. That's a big deal. Being able to adjust the iron parameters, that's a big deal. But the double is a great detector. You guys have seen the performance videos that I did of it and where it sets, as far as in that price range. But the triple does outperform it. Is not working. Yeah. That's that pinpoint function. They need to get on that and need to get that straightened out. And that would be a thing that I've looked at. I've looked at it the other day, and I'm like, no, it's not quite where we need it to be yet. So that's being worked on as we speak, I would imagine. What's going on, Trevor? I think probably, in the next week or so. I mean, my problem is time. I would love to take the Legend today because I know that people are interested in it and it would be great content for my channel. I would love to take it down there and show it today on the beach, but I just don't have time. So that stinks. And I know that Monday I'm leaving and I don't want to put my dive trip off to do it because it's kind of like it's one of those deals where I only have a certain amount of time to actually dive there. So I'm thinking probably in the next week or so. Even if they release it before I get to test it on the beach, I mean, it wouldn't bother me, because then if something was wrong, we could get that corrected very quickly. And you know that they release them as beta updates, and actually there would be more eyes on it. So at that point, you know, maybe they'll go ahead and release it. Maybe they'll release it earlier part of the week, and then I'll go down latter part of the week and make videos on it and let you guys see what it's doing. Oh, hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, Carrie. New to the hobby? Well, hey, man, we're glad to see you. And we'll have some beach videos up. We'll have some instructional videos up on how to run these detectors and how to learn metal detectors in the easiest, most efficient way. So, you know, I hope you'll stick around. Well, I know you're subscribed because you're commenting, and that is one of the stipulations about commenting on my channel. You have to be a subscriber of 5 minutes or more. so in other words, you're not going to come over here, not you, but whoever out there, the haters are not going to come here and drop their junk off anytime they want to. They're going to have to subscribe. Let's see here. If he commented here. Should be soon, Don. I would like to see other people test it out, as the U.S. soil can vary, as you know, and it's working great here, but only U.S. feedback is risky, in my opinion. And Iffy, I'm going to comment on the conversation we had in private about this, and we talked about the very thing that he's saying here. You know, we're testing these Nokta detectors, and they're releasing them to the world. And you know, if he's an experienced tester, I'm an experienced tester. We understand how these machines perform across brands, so we're able to make an analysis of it pretty quick. But it's still not. We're looking at certain aspects. If he's looking at the gold aspect and the small gold he was looking at, and I don't know what else he's looking at, so I'm gonna let him speak for himself on that. I was looking at how it handled the iron to make sure that the faulting issue or anything like that was not introduced through a beta update. And this is the dangers of changing these detectors. I'm not an engineer, but this is all detectors, okay? I've seen it with XP. MineLab did an update. I really don't test beta versions for MineLab, never have. But we're working with XP and Nokta and looking at beta versions. When you change something, it can change something else, and it can have a negative or positive effect. And you have to go through different scenarios to find that. And TN Sharpshooter is actually really good at that. He'll stand there in one spot and go through these settings on it, and it's just really tedious thing to do. But I agree with what Iffy's saying here. Iffy's saying that, look, if two of us are only testing it and we're giving US feedback, it's possible that we could miss a bug. It's possible that it's performing different soil conditions. But I understand that Nokta's trying to get an overall, just, you know, get it out quick and, you know, and getting an opinion on it, you know, and that's great. But I'm with Iffy signals. You know, it's risky. So if something gets through the beta version, well, I know they'll fix it, but don't come knocking on my door. I'm telling you, I'm just looking at certain aspects, and I guess that's what Iffy's saying too. Because it can happen, but it may not happen, but I'm just saying. But that is a good thing about them doing the beta release to the public, you know, that when testers look at certain aspects and then it's released to the public and everybody's looking at this guy beach hunts, this guy relic hunts, this guy coin hunts, this lady is over here tot lot jewelry hunting, and you know, etc. And things can be found and they can correct it that way. But anyway, let's see how many we got in here this morning. What time is it? 9:01. I got a few more minutes. What's going on, P&J? Hey, I appreciate it, and I plan on doing that across the board and looking at these other detectors. Like I said, I forget sometimes that I really live and breathe this stuff, and I communicate with people like TN, Iffy, and other people who live and breathe this stuff, and I forget about starting out sometimes. And I apologize about that, because even my live chats, I can get nerded out on detector settings, and I forget that, you know, before we get to the mathematics of a metal detector, we need to learn the basics of that metal detector. And I'm going to start doing some videos on all these detectors to help everybody get the learning curve time cut down. And I'll go ahead and give you a couple of clues since you guys took your time to join in this morning with me. And I will be showing this in the videos. But here is one of the top suggestions for these metal detectors. Whether you're learning the Legend, you're learning the Manicore, the Equinox, any of those detectors, the Simplex, the Triple Score, the Elite, the Deus 2, whatever other detector that has tone options. Whether you're using park mode, field mode, beach mode, I don't care what you're using. Set these detectors in the same tones. So your first objective is to learn how to change the tone configurations in each program. And it's pretty simple on all of these detectors. And what am I saying here? I'm saying that if you just bought a triple score, I don't want you to go to park mode and use 3 tones and then go to field mode and use 60 tones. Because what you're doing in your learning curve there is you're changing the detector. It's basically 2 different detectors, and I'm just going to use the triple as an example, and it applies to all of them. The Legend, the Deus 2, they have all these tone options, and when you change the tone options between the programs, you change the behavior of the machine, and you basically make it a different detector. So let's say that you just got a triple score like the person just was talking about. I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, I'll have to go back through the comments, but you just got a triple score and you've got it set up in 3 tones in park mode, and then you've got it set up in 60 tones or pitch in field mode, and you're switching all day back between these 2 programs trying to figure out which one is the best. Do not do that. Pick a set of tones. And I can't tell you, this is the thing that I can't tell you. I use pitch audio for iron hunting relics on all detectors. On MindLab, it's called depth audio. On the Legend, it's pitch. On the Deus 2, it's pitch. And why do I use that? Because it's a very alertive audio, and it tells me dig or don't dig, in a heavy iron situation. Now, I will say this. It is a more complex audio, so maybe it's not the place to start. But if you're an iron hunter and you hunt relics, maybe it is the place to start. So this is the decision that I cannot help. I can tell you about, but I cannot make for you. I can't tell you whether you need 3 tones, 5 tones, pitch tones, or whatever. But I can tell you this. Whichever set of tones that you pick on your unit, you put those in every single program that you use. Now, we'll break that down even further on these detectors with frequency, recovery speed, and all that in the videos. But the number one thing today that I can give you, and the simplistic thing, the most simplest and the best use of your time, is to set your tone parameters in each program the same starting out. Now, if you decide that you don't like those tones after 20 hours, go back and change them and make them the same in each program. But this whole going out, learning, flipping back and forth all day, you're spitting in the wind doing that because your ears and your brain are building muscle memory, I guess is the way to describe it, to the tones and how they respond. And in your eyes, you hear a tone, you dig something out of the ground, and you understand that metal detector, after a while, was speaking a language, and it said, oh, that's a coin, and that's what a coin sounds like. Oh, that's a can, that's what a can sounds like. Oh, that was a coin beside a nail, or there was a nail in the hole with a coin. Oh, that's junk, etc., etc. And if you're switching between those tones as the learning process goes, you're basically just running yourself haywire and wasting your time. And that is the number one Calabash Digger pro tip of the day. Set the tones the same across the board. But anyway, we were talking about a Nokta Legend beach update. so, never know where we're going to go. Let's see here. Your beach is updated in the new update on the double. It's superior. Okay, cool deal. I don't have one to test, so they did. Good deal. Good deal. Appreciate the info there. So beach is updated and new update on double is super rocking. Well, I probably need to get a double and test it too, but I've got so much. I can only do so much. What's going on, Paul? Good morning. Oh, man, yeah, dude. Is it cool up there this morning? I think I know about where you're at up there. That's cool, man. That's cool. What's going on, Gary? USMC, what's going on? Tomorrow with the Legend, it always delivers. Well, it's going to be better at the beach here very soon. I would suppose that it's going to be deeper at the beach here very soon. But we'll have to take that out and film that too. I appreciate it, Zealander. What tones do you go with the most? I am a pitch guy. But Iffy, will you comment on this? Can you chime in here? I know that you have your style of hunting, which is a little bit different than mine. And me and Iffy love to find relics, but he hunts relics in a different style than I do, per se. And he talks about tones, but I use pitch in full tones audio, all tone, one region, all tones on the Mind Lab, or all tones on the Mind Lab, and 60 tones on the Nokta Legend. But you got to remember, I've been using these detectors, and I'm familiar with, and having experience with these detectors, like the Equinox 800. That helped me with the Manicore, the Equinox 900. I seen her on there just for a second, Lance. She said something about if he was testing it, and there was another guy testing the Nokta machines. Well, I'm the other guy. It's good to be testing their equipment, though. It really is. It's good to have a working relationship with them now. And hold on one second. Dear, I'm on live, so if you don't want to be seen, don't come in here. Just pull the door up. Did you hear me? Just pull it up. They can't see you. They can't see you. Just pull the door up. They can hear you. Love you. So, where did I go? I got sidetracked. But it's nice to have a working relationship with them. Nice. 5:57. Hold on one second. Time out. Hey, dear. Give me just 1 second, guys. I want to go to the mountains. Paul's up there. Said it's 57 degrees this morning. All right, next few weeks, I'm going to the mountains. Yeah, I always love to go. After a long summer, I deal with a lot of people in the summer, and after that, and when it starts getting in the 50s, that mountain, crisp, high altitude air up in the Smoky Mountains, oh my gosh, man. It really makes my year. Every fall I go. But anyway, back to the metal detectors. So, let's look at what's going on still there. Let's see here. Yes, nice. So if he digs with a two-tone, so there's different preferences in. Getting back to the tones, pitch and 60 tones. Let's talk about that just for a moment. Now, 60 tones, full tones on the Deus 2 or Deus products, all tones on the Equinoxes, and one region, all tones on the Manicore. Those work for me. But a new user that does not have a familiarity with multiple tones that works on a sliding scale and on a 100 scale can be a bit overwhelming. So 5 tones, 4 tones, 3 tones. You'll have to make that call. All I can tell you is about the tone. I don't like 5 tones. I don't like 4 tones. But there's people who do. If he likes the 2 tones. And I don't know, what does your father use, Iffy, your father-in-law? What does he use, 3 tones? Something like that. But there's people who like the more simplistic tone bends. I like the more complicated, I guess that's the word for it, nuanced audios of the 60-tone sliding scales and the pitch tones. I do not use 60 tones or full tones or like that for relic hunting. I use pitch. And I'm so accustomed to that audio that I just refuse to basically use any other audio in iron, and I've tested them head to head, and it's just, you know, it's just minute things that on the testing. But for coins and stuff like that, the all tones or 60 tones or, you know, 99 tones or whatever you want to call it, on it's basically full tones on all the brands that works on a sliding scale is what I like for coin hunting and certain things like that. But the beach, I like pitch. I want it to tell me that there's a target there. There's a target there, dig or don't dig. Because basically on the beach, you're digging in everything anyway unless you're bypassing a bunch of pennies or something like that. He has 3 tones across the board. So if his father likes the simpler tone options over the more complicated tone options, but we done got into tone options and got slap off the Legend update. But anyway, that's where we're at. So keep the tones the same. Here's the moral of this story. Legend's got a new beach update that's going to be a better performer. Triple Score's got the new beach update and working on some things behind the scenes with the Triple Score that I hope that they will put in, but they may or may not. But as it sets right now, Triple Score's knocking, and according to another user on here, the Double Score update is knocking on the beach. If you are buying one of these detectors and you're trying to learn it, what was the number one thing I told you? Keep the tones the same. Whichever one you choose, and I can't make that decision for you, but whichever one you choose, keep those the same. And if you don't understand how that works, let's just give a real quick summary. So when you say 1 tone, 2 tone, 3 tones, we know that a coin has a certain ID, a certain type of coin. Let's go with this. A silver coin has a higher ID on that VDI number scale. A nickel has a lower number, and a nail has a lower number. So what will happen is on 3 tones, the nail will go in this bin, the nickel and gold will go in this bin, and coins and silver coins with a high VDI or higher conductor will go in this bin. So that's how it works. Low, medium, high. Well, it also works like that with the other tone bins. You got the same thing with 5 tones, low, medium, but it works in tighter scales. Then you keep going on up, and you get the 60 tones or all tones, and it works in very small increments. As the conductivity of the target goes up, the pitch of the tone goes up, and you get to this sweet high tone in the silver scale. And you can have that in the 5 tones and the 3 tones, but it's a little bit different in what I've seen on the machines in their all tones. But that's how it works. It puts it in segments. So you have to decide, do you want 3 tones? 2 tones is more of a, in my opinion, like if he uses it for ferrous, non-ferrous. But if I was coin hunting, I would at least go with 3 tones or 5 tones. Because then you have the low bin for the iron and rubbish, and then you have the mid conductor for the nickel ranges and the gold, and you'll figure out what goes where in those bins as you use the machine. And then you have the other bin for the silver. And one of the most exciting things is when you're using these machines and you learn them, and you get over a target, and you get this high tone, and you learn that that's like a possible silver coin tone, and that's a really exciting thing, you know, to hear that. On Mind Labs, they have a great silver tone. The Legend with that 60 tone, but pitch has not got that. It's just a whamp, 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 but it'll have a nuance. Like on the Deus 2, you can tell a round target with pitch. It's got a different sound than sometimes an odd-shaped target, but that's more advanced, and that takes time to get there with that. But can't tell you where to start with the tones, but that's the breakdown of how they work. Back in the 80s, tones were so simple. Well, I get that, but now it's so customizable that if you take the time, you can get better performance out of your machine. So, bottom line, Nokta Legend, new update coming, better detection in iron rubbish at depth, better beach performance, Triple Score, pinpoint function is being worked on, beach update, solid performer in iron. We've seen that another user of the Double Score says the beach update has helped it, and it's rocking on the beach. So this is the news for the Nokta products right now. So I've got to get out this week sometime when I get back from a dive trip and get the Legend. I'll get you guys some videos on the beach performance of the Legend. There was one thing that was said, and I'm sorry I did not address that in the beginning of this video. There was a couple of guys that reported on their triple scores from the UK that they were having stability issues. Now, in my circles of friends who have the triple score, and I have 3 users in close circles here, or 4 users with the triple score, none of us have experienced anything like that with the updates. If you have experienced anything, how about hitting me up and let me know that? CalabashDiggerAdventures@gmail.com. I don't know if they just had faulty coils or if it was something in the update. I don't know. There's so many variables to this. Me and Iffy was talking about this and he brought this up. There's so many variables to this. I use a Mac computer. Iffy uses a Windows computer. You know, and how all that stuff works, I'm not an engineer, I don't know, but I do know that I had a couple, Pistol Pete, if you're watching this video, is who commented on my channel, and another person from the UK, that they were having problems with the triple being stable. They said that they, and I'll go ahead and ask, because there's some people on here who have the triple. Have any of you seen this? They said they couldn't even run their sensitivity at 8 or 9. They were getting all this feedback. So I'm kind of saying faulty machine, because it seems to me like if that was the case, then we all would have seen, you know what I mean? So maybe it's just a faulty unit, but we're trying to help Pistol Pete and the people over there diagnose what's going on. So if you guys have experienced it, I'm going to stay on just a couple of more minutes, but I have not seen anything like that. I've got a few triple scores, and one of the deals about testing, I'm going to have, and if I test for anybody, from now on, whether it's XP, whether it's MindLab, if anybody ever asks me to test again, I'm going to have 2 units in hand. And why is that? Because I can keep the original version, test the beta head-to-head, and not keep having to update and change back and forth. So I've got 2 triple scores with different versions on them, and I tested both, and I could not replicate that. So, and you guys, tell me what you think about that if you guys are experiencing that. So let me jump right here. Free American Spirit. So far it seems that all the folks I've tried the Nokta Up seem to like it. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, but there was a couple of things that happened with Pistol Pete's. He was telling me about that. So maybe it's just a faulty coil or something. You know, I mean, these things happen. It's electronics. We know that it happens with all machines. Eventually there'll be one leak, and that's all brands. Eventually one will break, that's all brands. But I would like to just know about that and make sure that that's not a widespread issue, because he commented and asked me could I look at it, and I told him I would. And I wish, Pistol Pete, that I would have put that in the beginning of this live stream. I apologize, man. 47 minutes in, I just forgot all about it. P&J says, hey Cal, I'm kind of scared not to dig everything. Been using a PI detector for South Florida for years. If I'm going to leave no sand grain unturned, would I benefit from moving to the Legend? You know, if you're digging everything, I don't know. I don't do that. I mean, I'll be honest with you about that, P&J. I just don't see where the time versus the reward in that type of digging pays off. Let's say that, and then this is just my opinion, and maybe you found $1 million worth of gold over the years, but for me, my time is worth something. And let me tell you my philosophy. And however someone chooses to dig, or whatever they think the best way is for them, I'm happy for them. But for me, this is my philosophy. No way would I go to the beach and dig every target. I don't want to chase my time chasing bobby pins. I feel like that the odds would be better if I was going to chase gold rings by bypassing an iron bobby pin or bypassing a nail. Is it true I could possibly miss one? Yes, but at the end of the day, I feel like that I would have used my time in a more efficient way by leaving junk targets in the ground and not chasing 10-inch bobby pins, because it takes time to chase a 10-inch bobby pin. I feel like at the end of the day, a gold size ring, I'm not talking about earring backs or broke chains. I'm talking about rings. And in my opinion, that's where the money's at on the beach, is gold rings. Gold ring, small, I got a 3.5 is what Bass Trackerman had and tested. And I've got a 4 gram, pretty small gold ring. And I've got a couple of smaller gold rings upstairs that I found that were tied on a chain. I just feel like that the PI hunting and digging every knock and signal on the beach slows you down, where if you're just primarily chasing gold, you would be better served by bypassing a lot. And is it true that a detector could call a small piece of gold iron? Yeah, it sure is. But how much money is a gold earring back? How much money is a tiny piece of chain or something, clasp that's actual gold, worth? When you look at these detectors, the Legend, the Triple Score, the Manicore, the Deus 2, we see these detectors detecting gold ring size targets pretty effectively down to on the Triple Score, and I'm assuming the Legend now, 13 inches was solid. No-brainer diggers, what I'm saying, on a small gold ring. And where I'm going with this, just follow me for a minute. A small gold ring. So I'm covering with the Manicore, the Deus 2, on gold rings, small gold ring size objects where I feel like the money's at, down confident to a foot. And 13, 14, 15, and even possibly 16 inches on the Deus 2 and Manicore on a good day. So I'm covering down, let's just be conservative here. I'm covering down from an inch to 14 inches on gold ring size targets, but I'm gaining the benefit of discrimination on these targets. Now, I've not found these machines on the East Coast beach, and my buddy Bass Trackerman and Delta Fresh Relics tested this in the Gulf Coast of this country. We've not found these machines calling these ring iron in that range. So, at the end of the day, I feel like the answer to that question is yes. And even if you bought the Triple Score, which in my opinion I like better than the Legend, you would benefit at the end of the day. No, you're not going to hit an 18-inch bobby pin with the Triple Score or the Deus 2 or the Manicore. It's not going to happen. But you're going to gain discrimination that's pretty accurate down to a foot or even more, and you're not going to be wasting your time chasing all of those targets. You're going to be going and focusing and basically relying on the machine to dig the money objects. Does that resonate with you guys? That's why when PIs are talked about on the beach, I'm like, there's a better way to. It's true, you're not going to dig a 19-inch gold ring that big with a Manicore, but you're going to play the odds, and you're not going to dig 1,000 of these with the Manicore or the Triple Score or the Legend or the Deus 2 either. So you're going to bypass these, even though you may go to 14 inches on a gold ring size target and give up the 5 inches in the night, but you're going to bypass all of the thousands of targets of bullcrap, or a higher majority of them. You're not going to be chasing all that iron rubbish, or the vast majority of it. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You'll still dig foil and all that because a lot of that comes into gold range, but you'll figure out, even on these detectors, they're pretty doggone accurate when they get to a certain point that you'll even figure that out. On the Deus 2, I probably wouldn't dig 20s. You know, because if it was a piece of gold, it would be that big. And to me, the time is better focused on the gold rings if you're chasing the money. But that's just my opinion. So tell me what you think about that. So in my opinion, just coming from a PI to a VLF machine these days, because they're so good and the performance is so good on the beach, I feel like that, yes, you would benefit greatly. Whichever one you choose, the Triple, the Nokta, the Mine, whatever you choose, the Deus 2, that's just where I'm at with that. But anyway, now I'm on beach teaching. Okay, so that's. I hope that answers your question. Leave no sin a grain turn until. Boy, you must be a patient digger. Pastry does that with. I can't dig like that. I just can't. That's a lot. You're having trouble with, have you updated it, Paul, to the latest one? So, okay, so Paul, I'll call you and talk to you about that. Let me write that as a note here. So I'll call and find out what's going on with his. But the other people that I know, we've not experienced that. So we'll find out. I use Nokta as a backup that have done many hunts on the beach and never had the coil leak. And yeah. What's going on, Stink? Them since the 60s, that's being said, I pretty much dig everything at the beach, even today's anyway. Lead has gone way up, so that's a plus. Yeah. You gotta dig the lead and all that, but you don't have to dig the iron. That's the thing. These machines have gotten really accurate on about not having to dig the iron on the beach, and there's no way. I've got beaches over here in Cherry Grove, South Carolina. There's iron all over the beach. I could not imagine going there and digging every piece. Dude, there's thousands of pieces of iron where they had the dredge pipe. It just eroded. I couldn't imagine going there with a PI machine and digging every one of those pieces of iron when I could take one of these latest and greatest detectors. Yes, things get masked, but that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about time efficiency here, reward versus effort. And I can bypass those thousands of targets and just focus on the non-ferrous. That's where I'm coming from. There's no way in this day and age that I would do that. You need that time and coverage. Your odds will improve. Love my old PI, but not now with the new. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Dave. I think PI machines on the beach are gone. I know that Fisher's still peddling that Impulse AQ they got, and people still buy that crap. And there's a guy that pushes that, and I'm just like, dude, that's over, man. Why do you want to go out and dig every knock and signal on the beach when you can take these high performance units and play the odds game at a very good odds? Hey, I got you, PJ. Hey, I appreciate it, and I hope that helps. And that's just, and however a person, like I said, chooses to dig, I just lay out my argument of why I wouldn't dig like that. And time efficiency and management is the main thing. And I'm getting older and I'm fat now, and plus my back. But hey, all right, guys, I've got to get off of here. It's 9:30. That's the Legend update, new beach update. If he's checking out the other things with it, with the gold, you've seen improvement. You see from his videos. I see that the iron filter range is different on my beta update than it was on the other update or the Legend that I had prior. It seems to be maybe more efficient. They've tweaked the iron filter on it and made it more efficient, so that's a plus. Depth seems to be the same, in my test garden. Great time to be. I'm headed out, Blackwater Master. It ain't gonna be long. Monday, I'm gone. I'm going back diving. Hit a spot yesterday, found a couple of things. Flagman got a couple of jugs. There'll be a video up of that soon, but it didn't uncover what I thought it would. And it was kind of a little bit of letdown, but hey, we're still on the bottom. And guess what, Blackwater Dive Master? The water was 70 degrees. 70 in August. I had on a 5 mil and a 5 mil pullover with a hood under it, and was cold. In August, Blackwater Dive Master, 70. I looked over there and the alligator was hibernating. In August. I couldn't believe it. 70 degrees. But anyway, let me look at Paul's thing here on the deal here. Yes, I've updated, and I currently have to run it down to on a sensitivity of 10 to even hunt with it. Again, it could be the soil that I've been using it, and also a really tough spot. That's interesting, Paul. I'll give you a holler here later on today, and we'll talk about that and see, because that's kind of the same report that they were getting. Hey, did you update it on a Mac or a Windows computer? We'll start chasing this down. I don't know. Killed it. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. That's good. Killed it. That's good. I didn't kill it yesterday. I had a good dive. If you've seen the video before, went back to a spot and got into the sidewall a little bit and got some bottle dumps there, with those straight sodas. And that was a good dive. But yesterday, I was basically just swimming. But hey, you know how it goes. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get off of here this morning. I've been on an hour. That's that for the Nokta. Sorry I didn't have a whole bunch of stuff prepared. Just been a real busy week. Missed my normal Friday night live. But I will be back with you guys next week, hopefully with Legend Beach videos and a live stream, hopefully next Friday. And we'll go over what we found. And we will possibly, I might have a video up if I have a day off before I get back of, you know, on some of these other detectors, the easiest way to learn these metal detectors. What's going on, Lewis? I'm out of here this morning. Got to go to work. You guys have a great day. I appreciate you guys joining in with me. Thanks for watching.